Our pad's going to take care of the flush, low coverage. So a lot of the time we don't need a blade there. So we already have that coverage with our pad. So we can begin to, you can see in this case here, you can see that the blade becomes sort of a moot point, and our focus becomes the hand angle and getting that forward cock on the blocker so that we can get a bit of a better relationship between that blocker plane and the upcoming puck.
Is this something that can change from each guy in terms of, like, there's a couple times where I see he experiments with sort of that blocker relationship, sometimes dropping the stick. Is it all situational, or does every guy get comfortable with a different sort of way of managing this?
Well, certainly on the blocker side, you know, that's where the left to right stick drop comes from. And, you know, again, at this point here, we want to free our hand to operate independently of that stick. That's always the challenge with the stick hand, and is the sort of dual responsibility the blocker hand plays. So in this battle moment, if we want our hand to have that versatile vertical and close support, then we may have to discard our stick. But again, that's a pretty sophisticated move. It's not really a move for younger goaltenders for a younger beginner to intermediate goalie, and we certainly don't want our stick flying out of the space. So that left to right stick drop is something that allows us to just get a little bit more versatility with that blocker hand. You can see the stick going there too far. We ideally want the stick to stay in close proximity to us on a left to right stick drop. Obviously, the glove hand is unique because it really has its own. It has its own role. It doesn't have that dual role that the blocker does. But as far as the legs go, everything remains the same. You want that flush knee to ice on those extensions, and we're always looking to build coverage in that similar priority order.
This probably goes without saying, but you're always looking to work both sides. Like every goalie, especially at younger levels, probably has a stronger side they move to. Important to make sure you're balancing that.
Yes, for sure. I mean, there's no doubt that that's the case. And, you want to sort of have that neutrality in your game. You don't want to be strong one side, weak the other. We want that neutrality in the sense that we want strength on both sides.
So this is double dumps. So this is
And I can pause it, whatever.
establishing. So right here. So I did this differently with our tour.
Okay.
So I had these guys
I have
start.
that footage too.
I had these guys start as if they're kind of chasing in a recovered puck.
Okay.
I had these guys start as if they're recovering a puck that maybe has drifted wide and off a body. This allows our goalies to have time to find their post stance, basically. So I want them working to this post stance right away.
Right there?
Yeah,
Okay.
right away. So for me, my question to Spencer and all the goalies is, here's the play. This puck has come into this kind of trapezoid area. How are we defending this situation, and how are we consistently defending this situation? Almost as if it's like our system. So we always have something to fall back on. And for me, it's like, okay, here's the play. We need to consistently build our way that we want to process and defend these types of situations. And I think once the goalie has, adapted their style and are consistent with that approach, I think the consistency in their game develops. And I think we can buy saves, buy whistles, buy ways to manage the game that suits our personality, that suits our skill set and all that stuff. So basically this is just a test for them and how they want to approach and handle these situations. So we're building on top of that organizing, but now here's a play. It's a dumped in puck. How can I set myself up for the next moment? Because we're always looking to set ourselves up, and that's preparing for the next moment for me.
Okay, so the setup is probably similar from guy to guy. Like you want, I know like alignment and things like that.
Sure.
But from there, is there variation from there in terms of how each guy's going to handle it?
For sure.
Like you saw in that last one, Spencer was kind of, depending on, as it was coming around on this side, Spencer was like, you could see the blocker kind of, do I turn it? Do I, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And he talked about like, if it was a passing lane, if the guy come from below the net, I might turn it because I can jam or I can cut off a pass. But because he's out front, I don't want to compromise my blocker position, so now I square it up. Like all those decisions is the key to have each guy have a plan. So however they decide to do it, there's a consistency element. Is that what you're talking about?
That's exactly what I'm talking about. So then when we have these conversations and over a period of time, like we know, okay, there's a puck coming down the wall, he's going to do this. And he's going to defend it this way. This is what, okay. And when he doesn't do that, and like, okay, well,
why?
What? Yeah. So like you've done all this work that kind of developing, crafting, molding your game. You're having success, or maybe it turns into, okay, well, maybe I'm not having the success I want. Maybe I got to try something different. And then we discussed, and we got to figure that part out again.
Any rules on when you turn that stick plate over? Like he had his rules. Is it like anything are there any non-negotiables in this for you in terms of how they execute this?
No, because I think
I shouldn't even use that phrase because there's very few absolutes in this position.
Yeah, like I think the way you change the drill is you add a second player, you add a net front player. That's going to change what he's in effect going to do with his stick and passing lanes and protecting the blue paint and whatnot. Okay. So for the sake of this, I had these guys. These guys are crashing the crease. Yeah, you want to have an active stick, but I'm more so looking, get organized, make the save. How quickly can we rebuild our organization? How quickly can we rebuild our coverage so that we're set and prepared for that next play to come? Well, typically we'd like to see this off like that far side pad, actually.
Oh, okay.
So if we can have far side, and then it'll put a little bit more emphasis on that triggering a desperation moment. So it's all about building like calm in your position, and now desperation. So we're also working on those type of elements within the drill too. Like I gotta be calm in this position. I've got to be calm in this position, and now I've got to work desperation. So we've set him up into his reverse track, right? So the key for me is how he works through his progression within his reverse tracking.
Okay.
But I think even more importantly is the quickness that he uses his head, the quickness that he's able to pick these pucks up when they're moving side to side. Because if we're late picking the puck up moving side to side, we're going to be delayed picking it up moving from behind the net to out front of the net.
Okay, so I've heard Clark use that phrase too, quick side to side eyes, right? I think actually if I had the volume up here, I can even hear you say it.
Probably. So side to side eyes lead to back to front eyes. So it's really important, like as to how quickly, because there's a moment in time in these situations where we are going to lose eye contact with the puck. And we need to be really quick as to how fast we can reconnect with this puck, because our visuals, our eyes are so important to how we play the game. They're so important. They're the most important part of how we process plays.
Right.
So we need to give ourselves the best opportunity to process these plays and to put these moments together.
So in terms of when you make that decision to give up that vision and go side to side, one of the focal points is once you do, you got to be quick with it.
Yes.
But we can see him sort of, he's already moving, but he's staying on that side. And then even when he shifts over, he's still got coverage on that other side.
For sure. And that's the beauty of having the length, athleticism, flexibility to be able to reverse track or drop middle. You're sealing, you're taking away the middle of the net. Okay. You're taking away the low portion of the net. And typically you're taking away the ice. So those are three pretty massive areas of coverage that you're already checking. And now it's just the matter of putting the moments together with quick eyes. So quick side to side eyes, quick back to front eyes. And now you're working from a good, stable positional standpoint, but also now because you have quick eyes, you're able to add some reactivity to it.
So as you start to come to his right or your right, I guess both rights, he comes off that post, but if he were to give up vision here and turn his head, he's exposed on the short side.
Absolutely.
So the key here is, even though he's starting to move physically off that post, he holds that short side window with his eyes. Yes. And it's not till the puck hits a certain point, I'm guessing probably middle or past middle, where he makes this quick switch over to the other side.
Correct. It's probably even past middle.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's hard to see from this angle, but yeah, probably past middle.
But the beauty of it though is the anchoring. So because he extends anchor and drops middle, now he's established.
Extends anchor, just their phrase. So extends anchor is like, in this case, coming back the other way, the anchor would be his left skate.
Correct.
Okay. So so you see him extend the anchor.
So he's extending anchor. He's dropping middle. So now he's anchored.
That's drop middle.
Yeah. So now if you paused it,
Okay.
say we put another player on the other side. So now we have two players positioned exactly the same, just on both sides.
Okay.
Because he's established anchors, post anchors on both sides. If this puck were to come back out short side here, he has a post anchor in which he can push back off of to protect short side if need be.
Right.
Now because this puck is going behind the net, crossing the midpoint, out the other side, he's established early anchor on that side and is using the opposite anchor to drive his coverage to build that as the puck crosses the midpoint to the other side.
But to your point, if this comes out short side, if we had another player on the other side, not only has he maintained coverage on that short side low.
Yes.
But because he keeps his eyes on there until it's past mid, in other words, and probably until that pass is no longer an option.
Correct.
If you were to pass short side, he's going to see that pass the whole way and be able to remain visually attached to it.
Correct. And because he's established that anchor and it's clean, because repetitiously we've programmed this into his game, he doesn't have to worry about missing his opposite anchor. He knows he's got confidence in his ability to do that consistently and as clean as possible, that now he's always working from, a strong positional foundation.
And this doesn't do it justice in slow-mo.
No.
But I think in slow motion, it allows goalies to sort of see that even though he's physically moving off that short side post, he's holding that short side vision in that window.
Correct.
Until it's past halfway, and now it's quick eyes back the other way, and he's already set before the puck can even come out.
Correct.
Now, the one thing, like, even though he's got a reverse track and he has the length to sort of have a skate on both posts, for goalies that don't, how does it change? Like, I'm not sure. I wish I had video on Mikey because I don't think he has the length to quite sit in it, because he's still revert. Like, this is a more traditional reverse on this side because of where you brought the puck to. So there's still this is still the shift we'd see for a goalie that can't maybe hold this position.
For sure.
The back and forth from reverse to reverse is still sort of typical, like still sort of looks like it would apply to a goalie that maybe can't, isn't blessed with the physical tools to also sit in the middle.
Yeah. So again, we have to take into consideration what the physical limitations will be. There's some big goalies out there that maybe don't have the flexibility or the hip mobility to even allow them. There might be guys that are 6'2", 6'3" that still don't have, they have the physical limitations that won't allow them to reverse track.
Right.
In this traditional sense. So you need to find ways, maybe they're more still of a hybrid where, they go to one post and then they push off to the other post and build with an inside anchor and a post anchor that way. For instance, Michael DiPietro, as an example, we worked on a way that maybe suits him a little bit better, where it's, we call it the drop inside. So he finds it easier to, establish his good visuals on his blocker side. So if he's anchored in, if he works to be anchored in on his blocker side, he'll drop his inside anchor right inside the net. And then,
it's sort of Jonathan Quick style.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's exactly how we do it.
Okay, and so for him, he's maintaining that vision over his left shoulder, but again, everything to his left, he can wait till it comes out because he knows he can make that push.
Yeah,
and if it comes back to his right, he's got that side of the net covered as he goes quick eyes to eye, side to side eyes back to his right. So for him, the key would be holding that coverage on the right post, maybe a little longer almost, not getting sucked into the movement first. So he just picks a different window basically to see through.
Correct. Yeah, correct.
Okay.
That's just it. Yeah, you've nailed it on the head. And same rules apply. So say if that puck does come back short side, he's inside the net. So his inside anchor becomes really important. So we need to condition that inside anchor. As quick as we got to drop it inside to get our visuals, we got to drive it out and establish a good, strong, anchor above the goal line in those situations. Okay. If it keeps on going out the other side, we need to be able to target that post, right? That next post anchor as we push off. Okay. We can't swing back out. We gotta extend. Okay. So we got to extend, we've got to flush the ice. We've got to take that low, and then we've got to push off that inside anchor, or sorry, that former post anchor to establish our next inside anchor.
Right. Okay. Awesome.
And we're not going to do that on his blocker side, because now you're going to get your stick inside the net. So it doesn't make sense.
Right.
So we got to find a different solution for that side.